You're super nervous. I don't need a microphone. So if you can't hear me, just raise your hand. We'll talk louder. Can you hear me? No. Really? You maybe use that microphone? Use it. Please. No, but then what's on your side? So let's try it for a few minutes without. If you can't hear, can't hear. Can you hear? Okay. So first off, I want to start with Happy Mother's Day. Weekend showing up here. Thank you. Isa Baby, stand up. All Isa Baby, stand up. Look at our Isa babies. Love our babies. So happy Mother's Day. Thank you guys for coming. We cherish our mothers and Isogenics. You guys work so hard, and I want to recognize you today and thank you for coming to this really what I call tough love training. This is a lot of tough love today. You're going to hear things, you're going to be like, huh? So what I want you to get into your head is be very, very open, because I went to New Year's kickoff this year and I was a 6-star. You open your paper to the different levels. I think it's right under the U+2. Will tell you the income of a 6-star. But really at New Year's kickoff, I was still considering myself at the very beginning of my build. And Susan Sly got on stage, and Natalie Wood, our Olympic 5-time Olympian, got on stage, and they just lit a whole new fire in me to come home and start max out training a 90-day blitz. So I came home and started just going absolutely crazy trying to get myself to max out my center, and I did that in 90 days. I went from a 6-star to an 8-star. I've now maxed out my center. You can see the income there and what it takes. And we're going to talk about that today, how I did that in 90 days. Everybody here, I hope you are here because you are interested in maxing out, or you are on the path to maxing out. These 3 beautiful builders, ladies, dear friends of mine, are on an amazing track to max out their center. They are now taking this 90-day blitz extremely serious because it's so possible. Is it possible, Stephanie?
Absolutely.
Is it possible?
Absolutely.
Is it possible, Shannon? Everybody
on it.
How many of you in here are a director above? Stand up. How many of you are a crystal executive or above? Stand up. 2-star above. Okay, 1-star above.
1-star.
2-star. Look at the numbers. What that means, guys, is how much money they're earning. 2-star. 3-star. Okay, there's no doubt about it. This is why my business is maxed out, and I thank you. Because I have 3 stars on one side and 6 on the other. So thank you. And 3 stars. So in the past, I'm going to kind of read a little bit here as I kind of just open up today, but I want to tell you about Heather and Daryl. I call them the 10-day couple. They actually, in 10 days, flipped from another actual direct sales marketing company, and we're so excited about our comp plan for many, many reasons, and a whole year of watching this team. They decided to make the transition over to Isogenics, and we have been so blessed with them in our lives, and we are so grateful. And they literally took this very serious. They saw the opportunity, and they went to Crystal Executive. I call them the 10-day couple. They are not fooling around because they get this, and they're headed to this fast. They are what I call the 10-day couple. So that's Heather and her lovely husband, Daryl. And then Trish just won with her amazing team, the ISO Derby. They finished second in all of the now on the way to St. Thomas. She is now earning more income than she could have ever imagined in her life. Getting ready to go what we call 2-star. Back to 2-star. 3-star, excuse me. 3-star. Again, this is happening so fast I can't keep up. She's actually moving out of her home to a brand new, big, beautiful home that she can now afford. Beautiful 3 children. So super excited to see how she's been in Isogenics. How long, Tricia? Weeks.
December 18th.
Okay. So less than 6 months, and she's now a 3-star, and you can see her income on the paper. So we're pretty, she has a lot to share today. So we're going to kind of move fast and furious. So I'm sure I'll see a lot of heads down taking mad notes because I'm going to try to get in and out of here as quickly as you can. We've actually just sat under 10 hours of training. We're going to slam it all into, hopefully, an hour. Don't let me do that. Lisa and her better half, Ashley at the door, who's the chair monitor today. Thank you for that. They jumped into isogenics because they saw the opportunity. I jumped in because I love the products and I wanted to get my husband well. Super smart guy. He got the numbers fast, and they have been going full steam ahead ever since. And they are on track in the next couple of weeks to go 3-star as well. So all of this is ready up there. A great deal to share with you. They trust the money, and they're on their path to maxing out their center. So today is going to be all about how I maxed out and how they are getting ready to max out. Many of you are on that track right now. But literally in the past, can you hear me now pretty well back there? Okay. In the past 2 years, I have been blessed to attract all of you into my life, directly or indirectly. Okay, so you're all here just because some great, amazing, positive things are going on in my life. You have forever changed how I approach everything in my life. Everything. Because of all of you working together as a team, I have achieved financial success. I will never have to worry about financial freedom for the rest of my life, nor will my children. That's pretty heavy. So, just catch my breath here. I have been in network marketing for the past 2 years. No previous experience whatsoever. Many of you here are in the same position, correct?
I have.
You have? Mm-hmm. Okay. I have witnessed both the ease of this and the struggles. Okay? It's not always been a fun walk in the park, but for the most part it's been fabulous. Would you say that?
Fabulous.
Fabulous. I have read books on highly successful people in this industry, and I've also read stories on people who have lost it all. So I have found the secret of success in this business. And the secret is, and this is my secret, write it down, attitude. Attitude. And in this gym, we talk about it every day, and we work on it every single day, and we catch ourselves. Trish and I just went through this today. We caught ourselves, and we're like, and it's such a habit to say, I don't feel good. How are you today? Not bad. What is the universe here? Bad. Okay? No matter what, I'm great. I'm awesome. And I attract that into my life directly or indirectly. My husband was dying 2.5 years ago. Critical, tied down to the bed, couldn't walk or talk, not expected to live. Every day those doctors came into that room, and it was, I was going crazy that he kept doing this. The doctors would come in as a team and they'd say, how are you, Mr. Bowman? He would say, I'm amazing. The power of our words are incredible. Today you all know, my husband was the beginning of this team, and I'm just so thankful that I would come in there, and I got to tell you, I haven't told this before, but the funniest I have ever seen my husband was during those 14 days where he was fighting for his life. He was telling joke after joke. He was smiling. His attitude was incredible. And I do believe today, by the grace of God, it was his attitude why he survived that critical time in our life. Thank you, Lord. Your attitude will determine your paycheck. Your attitude will determine your paycheck. Every day we get to choose to have we have to have an attitude. So why not choose to have a good attitude, right? Why not choose it? I began to observe myself when I have negative thoughts. Ashley and I just went through this. And it's such our human nature to have those thoughts every day, all day long. I stop myself now from entertaining that thought immediately by doing 10 gratitudes. These are all key things you should be writing down. Every time I have a thought about anything that's not really serving me well or my family or anything in my life, I stop immediately and I write down 10, or I call somebody and I do 10 gratitudes. That's been huge for my journey in the last, right, Luz? So attitude, again, is going to determine your paycheck in this industry. I have taken 100% responsibility for my business, 100%. I've never blamed my upline or my downline. I have blamed myself when things were what I call stuck or whatever all the negative objections that we'll talk a little bit about today. So in the first year, I managed to start earning a six-figure income in Isogenics. So grateful for that. And I'm kind of going off my notes here. But in 2.5 years, my income has grown from 0 to 700,000. Okay, 2.5 years. I've only actively, Travis Garza, our vice president, pointed this out to me. I've only actively really been working this like 90-day sprint for 1.5 years. So possible. So possible. Okay, what do I credit that to? Every day, if anybody that knows me in this room well knows that I do not have a day off during this 90-day sprint. I do not take a day off. What I do is I take hours during my day off where I don't look at the phone for a few hours. But if you guys want to max out your center and you want to go for this, the tracks are all there to run on. It's literally, in the last 90 days, I've been a hot mess. Just a hot mess. It's been, if you know me well, you were not getting along. And that's what it's going to take. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what these 90 days are going to look like to set you up for that. And we'll get more into that. More importantly, I take every single day to be thankful for every single person on this team. I'm doing that daily. That's a daily thing, as I'm doing gratitude for everybody in my downline in my head, okay? That's really, really important. I am passionate about all of you wanting to succeed. So now I've done this, but all along I've been passionate about getting Shannon paid. Number one thing I do every day is I check my downline cycles and I see where they are on a Monday, not on a Friday, not on a Sunday morning. On a Monday, I see who's close to cycling, and I am on that phone with them trying to figure out how to get them paid for the week. Because what does it take to get somebody 4 cycles in a month? How much is that? It's $200. Their products are going to be paid for. If I can get everybody cycling 1 time a week, that's $200 a month that will pay for your product forever. There's a 95% retention rate. If you can get your people paid, why would they go anywhere else if they're getting their products for free? You all have greatness within you, and it's going to take courage to commit to Isogenics, to really produce your dream, the dreams that you've always wanted. You're going to have to commit to this company. They will commit to you. I don't know if anybody saw that video they just put up on my wall. Incredible. And they have committed to me because I committed to them. I can pick up that phone 24 hours a day, and leaders ask for what they want, and this company has committed to me and this team. So let's see. We're going to get to the eight steps in just a minute. It is a great tragedy, you guys, in life to know all this stuff and to not put it to use. That's such a huge tragedy to me. There are so many people that know this opportunity exists and they're not putting it to use. It's just steps. That's all this is steps. Again, when you know these steps, and we're going to talk about the 8 steps today, your paycheck is going to go way up. Most of us are doing maybe 1 and 2 of the steps. And anybody who has a system in Isogenics and knows the system will max out their center. So when we get into the 8 steps today, that's when you guys should be taking every single note. They are all written down for you on one of your handouts there. If you miss a day on this journey, if you miss 1 day of the 90-day max out sprint, that's okay. I want you to start again the next day. Start again. And we're going to talk about what that 90-day looks like in a minute here. But I want you to observe how fast your business grows. How fast your business grows. And how fast your paycheck goes up by doing some of these steps we're going to talk about today. And the biggest one, I can tell you, is your attitude and living a life of abundance. Okay, living, and by doing that, it's going to bring more abundance into your life. So what I do every day is I celebrate a cycle or a pound. And Angie, stand up, 140 pounds down. Did we cycle, did we celebrate every 10 pounds?
We did.
We celebrated every 10 pounds. Okay, she's now one of our biggest growing, fastest builders in Isogenics. She's lost at least 140 pounds in 8 months, and she's going to win the Ice and Body Challenge this year, which has come with massive success in their life. So we during this time, I want you to be aware of the abundance that's going to come into your life and write it down. Again, a lot of this stuff has to do with visualizing your vision and writing it down. A lot of us are saying it in our prayers or meditating, but we're not writing it down. It's been huge for me. And then I also highly encourage all of you today, and I think most of you have gotten a gratitude partner, and you're saying it to that partner, your 10 gratitudes every day, and you're saying them back. If you don't have one, private message me, I'll be your partner. I promise you. Okay. So your paycheck is actually an attitude check. The brighter, the more positive, more gratitude, more grateful your attitude, the bigger your check is going to become. I'm sorry, I'm going off on gratitude today because I'm so grateful. I am grateful for all of you being here today and your destiny with Isogenics. There's a few steps that have been key for my bill. Number one, I honor others first. I honor others first. There's been only a couple people on my team that I've really had to struggle with. And I got to tell you, most often those people that rub you the wrong way are the ones who are the most to resemble your shortcomings. Okay? That's powerful. That was powerful for me when I really figured that out, that it was about me, it wasn't about that person. And you're going to have that in your bill. You're going to have a lot of that. But it's, again, honor that person for wherever they are at. And what I am secretly doing now with each and every person that I meet with for an hour or I'm struggling with, I am blessing them secretly in my head. Lord, bless this person. It has been huge to see things changing in the relationships and in their business as well, as opposed to being frustrated and hanging on to it. I am quietly blessing every person that I meet with. Is that helpful? Okay, are you doing that? I knew you were. Okay, so that has, honoring others and respecting them has really been huge for me. And I had to learn that, guys. I had to learn that. Once I let go of a lot of the struggles that I was dealing with, that happened fast, okay? The second principle I did is I learned to celebrate every single success. So there is no room in this world for jealousy or envy. When others are getting to where you want to be, or you see someone perhaps driving a car that you want, the question is, you need to say to yourself, how do I attain that? How do I attain that, okay? As to the opposed of living in jealousy, okay? Many times I sat in some of our big training, I'm like, oh, I want to be doing that. I want to be up there, or I can do that. And it was not a really good attitude to be having. So when you feel jealous for someone who is coming from a place of lack of doubt, is coming from a place of lack and doubt, you believe at some level that you will never achieve that. So isn't that interesting? So if you're actually feeling like, oh, I want that, most likely you're never going to achieve it until you can get to the place where, that is awesome, how do I get that? Does that make sense, Daryl?
Absolutely.
I know, right? Okay, so we have a lot of that going on, just in natural human being, the jealousy part. So again, start blessing that person, your 10 gratitudes, and that gets you out of that fast. So at no time have I learned that any one person in Isogenics has all the answers. They know a whole bunch more than I do, and I learn from them every day, and the same vice versa. There are high levels of enlightened thinkers, and there are those who have arrogance. Whatever, wherever you are at right now, there is always more to learn. Always more to learn. So once you have let go of the jealousy and the envy, and you let down the barriers of thinking someone is better and someone is less than another, what did I write about that? You can open up your mind to learning. So there's nobody who, I am not any greater than you, and the guy in the back row over there is no, or whoever is no better than me. Everybody is pretty much, we all have a level playing field. We all can do this. No doubt about it. So when you are open, the lessons will come. I am now trying to find one lesson, this is key, one lesson from somebody every single day. I'm learning a lesson from somebody every single day. Every day. Because I consider myself a student every day. I never want to be the one who's the expert in this, or I know it all. So I'm writing down that, and I'm seeking for it every day. What can I learn? What can I learn? What can I learn? That's been huge. So for the next 90 days, listen when someone speaks, see if you can learn one new thing, and then, again, write it down. Almost done with me blabbing, and we're going to get into the good stuff. Wherever you are, there is so much to be grateful for. It could be the roof over your head, someone who loves you. It could be the opportunity for success. Be grateful for every cycle in isogenics. Be grateful for it. I don't want you to be on Sunday night frustrated because you're only at 3 cycles or only at 40 cycles. Be thankful that, and just celebrate that. You've got to get in this mindset that it is what it is. You are who you are, and that is awesome. Because that will flow over into your next week. If you start your week off with, oh, I only had 20 cycles, I guarantee you that's going to be a reflection on whoever it is you're trying to sell or share isogenics with. Finding things to be grateful for will bring you more abundance into your life. So did I already go through this? Simple exercises has made me. This simple exercise, you guys, finding things to be grateful for will bring more abundance. So I'm looking for things to be grateful for. More things are coming into my life, and it is a fact. So many people focus on what they do not have as opposed to what they do have. This simple exercise has made me a fortune. Okay, I celebrate success every day, and I celebrate abundance in my life. That's it. That's my secret. It's the attitude every day. And somebody was here training today. She's in the poster. And she said, I can't do what you do. You have a way of loving everybody. She said, it's just so hard. Well, she's speaking this stuff. She's making it hard just with her words. I said, this is, to me, has become so easy and so natural because we've practiced it every single day over and over and over. Again, abundance, and more is coming. Look at this room. This is incredible. Can you hear me back there? Okay, good. One of the last principles I use, how you are is how you are. Okay, how you are is how you are. Your language will put out a signal to the world as to what you want to attract. Right? You know all this stuff, right? And we've had lots of talks about it. When you walk into that gym, if you're walking into that gym, man, with your head down, you're going to attract not the people that you want into your business. If you are asked, how are you doing? Your response should not be, not bad. What is your response? How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Why are you, and then I want to know why he's fantastic. And I might not ask that day, but in time, enough times I've seen him at the gym, he's always fantastic. Even if he's not, I'm going to wonder why he's always fantastic. And I'm going to be drawn to this fantastic, positive guy. So that's been a huge thing for me, no matter what, and we talked about that today. I don't care if you got a little cold, but you're still fantastic, and we're not even going to that, she said, you got a concoction for it. And I said, I do. She goes, what is it? And I go, tell me that you're doing great. So I want you to say it like 20 times today, you're great, you're great, you're great. I guarantee you the power of the mind. I mean, the placebo is incredible, you guys. They give 20 people the drug and 20 people not the drug, and they don't tell who got the drug, and I guarantee you this group will get well because they think they're going to get well. I thought this was going to happen to me way before it happened to me. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. Okay, so I think this before it happened. Let's see, for the next 90 days, you guys, again, 10 times. It is 10 times. And this is what I want you to write down, 10 times. If you have to memorize it, just say it. But this is what I do every day. I am a gift. I am a gift. I am pure love. I easily attract everything I need and more. All my dreams are reality. I wrote that down, or I said it to myself, and I always do.
Can you say it again?
Yep, you got it. I am a gift. I am pure love. I easily attract everything I need and more. All of my dreams are reality. Okay? Got that?
One more time.
Okay? I am a gift. I am pure love. I easily attract everything I need and more. All of my dreams are reality. Is that right? Right? Do you have anything to add to that?
I'm just sitting here feeling like this whole room just feels like that. It's just amazing.
Yeah. So awesome. She said she feels like the whole room feels like that right now. It's true, I feel it too. Okay, this is the last thing I want to leave you guys with before we start getting into the good stuff. God asked for our first best. Our first best. And what that means is, now that I've always have, but my first best, and it's all biblical, and it's all about tithing. And so I give 10% of my first best, not my secondhand clothing, not my kids' I do give that all away, but my first best is 10% to whatever it is you're on fire about, whatever charity or cause it is. And I want to challenge you to do this, 10% of your Isogenics money, and watch it triple and quadruple. This has been huge, and it's been a hard one to write every week. Believe me, I like having money, but it has just done this in record time. Okay, I don't know what the stats are on doing that, but I think it's... So anyway, that's been a key for me. You can choose to do what you want, but that has been a huge part of my growth so fast. I believe today is 10% of my Isogenics money. Even if it's $30, it goes to a cause. And watch that double and triple. It's pretty biblical, correct, Matthew? You know what scripture that is? Okay, look it up for me.
No, but it is the one that he does. That's where God says, test me.
Oh, you want to test God?
That's the one.
You want to test God?
The one
Test
verse
him in
where
your
he says,
Isogenics
test me.
tithing. Oh, look at it walk in the door! Oh my God! For those of you who don't know, this is the owner of our company, Isogenics. We are just talking about just love at this very moment, and totally the number one word all this comes down to, you guys, and I know you're feeling it right now, is love. And this lady has poured love into me every day. Every day. If it's a text at 3 in the morning, I know. She has poured love into me every day. And I'll text her 3 in the morning, and she's in Spain, and she texts me right back and is like, good job, right on, keep going. And so,
well, I keep seeking to honor you, and I'm sure you're all here to honor her. She's a very, very special lady, and congratulations.
thank you. Oh my God, thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
No little idea what this company is about. For her to show up today, this is huge and surprise us all. I packed the house for you.
I know. Wow. Well, I know
Thank you.
Jill's an inspiration, and thank you for all you're doing. It's amazing what's happening to our company right now. It's because of all of you and your commitment to making a difference in people's lives. And what a great way to celebrate an amazing lady.
I know, right? We're calling it Max Out May. Mother's Day Max Out May. We're going to do it again.
Good.
Heather's on her way. Trish is on her way. Lisa's on her way. Tanya's on her way. Daryl, everybody's going to max out their center. Please stand up.
Yeah.
Everybody has a huge goal.
All attitude. But I had to come by. Love you. You guys have been great.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, Kathy.
Bye, Kathy.
Okay, I don't even have anything else to say. So just so you know, incredible lady, incredible. That was huge. She. I'm perplexed. All right, so now what we've done is, literally we've been pretty bad about this until recently, and we're getting much better, because what we want to do is we want to set every single
I've been
bad. We want to get much better at the steps, because Isogenics gives us these amazing steps to run on these tracks, and it's so easy. If you just follow, has it been easy? Hard work. But to follow the tracks. Are they laid out for you?
It's all laid out.
It's all laid out. And he literally, Heather and Daryl locked themselves in a room for 10 days, and they just followed those steps and those tracks. And Heather is passionate about these steps. And you want to kind of go into the step, the A, C, A, C, and D. Beebe, really quickly, you want to kind of stand up and use your board and use your power voice, and not stop talking about me, and let's start talking about the meat of this training today. Yes, here it is. And all right, if you want to talk, you can talk.
Well,
You vote.
actually, first off, Daryl and I, when we started Isogenics, we didn't, we went in 100% and totally ready to go. And what we did was, what I needed to know was a number. I just needed to know what's the number that we needed to hit. So we were given a goal of hitting executive actually within the first week, and we didn't make it. But we did it within 20 days. And so when we went, to Max Out training last week, there were a couple things that I thought were really important for people to know, like right when you enroll. Manager is 6 people, director is 18 people, executive is 30 people. So in my mind, I wanted to go as fast as I could go, and Daryl and I got together and put a list together, and we just knew that we had to get 30 people that wanted to do it. 30 people that were ready to get started, and obviously people who wanted to get their product for free. And I got to tell you, one thing that I really, really regret today is that there are some people that I enrolled in that first 10 days that I didn't tell about the bonuses. I just didn't tell them about the bonuses. I said, get started, let me know how you feel. I checked in on them, and a few of them have expired with their bonuses. And something that that I left with on Saturday was I am obligated to tell everybody about the bonus. Whether they say, I'm just going to use the product, I don't want to sell it, I don't want anything, I don't want anything to do with what you do, I still need to tell them about their bonuses. So what Daryl and I did was, just that, it went really fast.
The first thing they did was they got this list out that you guys all have.
Right.
And the first thing they did is they wrote down 100 people. That's the key.
More than 100.
More than 100.
More than 100.
Everybody knows what, I guarantee you, I'm starting my build over my second center. I'm getting a new list of 100 people. That's just the key. This, you all have it, and you go through your index, and this is one of the first things you did, correct?
Right.
Okay, you all have this. It's a little gift. There you go.
Okay, so when we got somebody started, I immediately said, bring somebody with you. Obviously, not everybody brings somebody with them, but an easy thing, an easy way to talk to somebody about inviting other people is really, really simple. It's not even giving them a choice. It's just who is going to cleanse with you. Who's going to do it with you? And when I had somebody come with me, or when we had somebody show up, I'm nervous, you guys, I'm sorry. We had somebody show up, if they brought people with them, even if they were our clients, they personally enrolled them. So in our world, people are close. A lot of people know each other. And we made the decision the day that we enrolled that we would never argue over who knew somebody first or whatever, because people want to enroll with who they're comfortable with. And that's how we broke 10 consultants in 20 days.
Okay, awesome. So I guess my question is, did you follow all the 8 steps for the most part?
I did not follow all the 8 steps for the most part.
All right, well, why don't we start with, wish we did.
I wish I did, but I'm starting it right now.
Following them now.
Oh, I got it, okay. So basically, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to fill out that form. If you guys are wanting to know what to do in the next 90 days, the first thing we did, I don't care if you're a 3-star, 2-star, 1-star director, get your 100-person list out. You're going to be, for the next 90 days, literally, you're going to be a hot mess, and you're calling every single person you know. And if they're not interested, do you mind if you give me 3 referrals? Okay, 3 referrals, and I'll flip you a can of shake or a bar to try or some e-shots. You're going to love them. I guarantee you, every person is going to give you a couple of referrals. And again, it comes down to how bad you want this. Might not be your time. I'm assuming all of you want it pretty bad, or you wouldn't be sitting here today. There's a few who are just here from out of town, and they're just like, what? But they're soaking it all up because for some reason, they've been drawn to this goodness and this abundance. So, again, we start off with, what's the first step? The list, correct?
Ask them,
Yep.
who will do this with you?
Okay. Who will do That's the first thing you're gonna do. But what I love to do is get everybody immediately from that call to an appointment and setting the appointment. So I'll go from, is that what you're doing? You'll go from literally, are you interested? And I love this. If I was to show you how to add an extra $1,000 income to the back end of you're already earning, would you meet me for 5 minutes? I love the if I would you. If I could show you a product where you could actually release those 50 pounds you've been struggling with, would you meet me at Starbucks for a half hour? If I would you has been very, very powerful, and our jaw was on the floor when we got our head around that last week because we went through many examples of if I would you. You love that, Steph? Uh-huh. And the other one was, what was it? Either or. Either or. Either or. Either you can keep going the way you're going, you know, struggling 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or would you be open to an opportunity where I could show you where all of my friends are making 6 figures? Either or, if I, could you? Did you guys all write that down? Because it's huge.
Can you say
Keep going the way you're going, or meet me for a half hour. Let me show you this amazing opportunity. Changing lives all over the world. And we need to get people out of the mindset of, there's a different way. There's a better way than 8 to 5. There's another way out there. There's another way that a whole lot of people are earning incredible financial freedom.
Can I share something real quick?
Yes,
on
this is
this?
a, I want to have a
Fine,
conversation,
okay.
let's just
So
do
I
it.
just want to talk about, you know, when we enroll people, sometimes we say go talk to people, go, you know, ask them if they want to do isogenics, send them to isomovie.com, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of times what we forget to do is teach the skills, and that's what we're doing here, and that's what we plan to do here on out throughout our teams. The 3-way calls, and what do you do if you send someone a video? If I send you a video, will you watch it, and can I call you at 10 o'clock tonight or 8 o'clock tonight, whatever. Give them a time. Give them a time. If you say, hey, can you watch a video? It's kind of like left out in the open. Yeah, I might watch it next week, or you know, I might watch it in 3 days. So say a time. If I send you a video, can you watch it at 8 o'clock, and I'll give you a call and follow up. If I send you a video, can you watch it tonight? No. Okay, well, can you watch it tomorrow? I've had so much more success because it's urgency. I'm serious. I'm taking it very serious. I'm not just throwing it out there. Like, if you want to look at this, you know, take a look and give me a call back. So, and I like setting appointments too. Always set the next appointment, whether it's a message on Facebook, a phone call, the next day, to do
So
the
are
8
you a hot
steps.
Are you a hot mess right now?
Absolutely. I love it.
Okay, we're all running right now. We're all running, and I think one thing she's doing, if you do some of the things right some of the time, okay, you know what happens. If you do all of the things right all of the time, this is going to happen. Okay, for the first, go ahead, Daryl.
Can I say just one thing real quick?
Yeah.
The thing that Heather and I started with, and I'm looking at this, and I'm getting my brain around this right now, you have to make the end result like not negotiable. The end result is your mindset, and then you work on the steps. And you know, we did that with our our goal to get to Crystal Executive. It's like that goal was not negotiable. The time period wasn't negotiable. You know, and we just started working towards it. And mindset is so important in everything that we do in this business.
I wholeheartedly. Angie, do you agree? Could you have released 140 pounds if you're like, I'm going to kind of sort of do this? And then I talk about this all the time. And I learned this from David Wood. If my husband would have said to me, I kind of want to marry you. I think I'm kind of in love with you. I would be like, eh. So literally it comes back again to the vision, the attitude, the mindset. And thank God he didn't say that. And thank God Angie was like, all in. I'm going to lose 140 pounds. And every week she showed up here, she was down 10 pounds, not 1 or 2. There was no cheat day. There was no off day. There's no off day. There's no off day. Mind you, we need a rest day, Lord's Day on Sunday, but you know, I'm still answering those texts. Tanya.
When I'm meeting with someone, and Angie thought I was kind of a turkey at first because I said, she called and she said, I have my best friend, I'd love for you to meet with us. And I said, okay, well, who else do you know that would be interested in this? Because I want to learn to maximize my time with minimal effort. And so I'm helping not only set my people up for success, or if I'm meeting with someone, I immediately say, who do you know, make your list,
Smart.
and then bring them to the meeting, so that not only do you set them up, you set them up as immediate consultant and get them paid.
And how many people showed up at that meeting?
I have 3.
first time you met. So what she's just said is that on her first meeting, she said to Angie, well, I'd love to meet with you, but who else do you know that you can bring with you? Because she wanted to maximize her time. This lovely gal who she just recently met has linked arms with her. They're now running all the way, fast as they can, and she brought 3 people with her. Were you one of them to know?
No.
Okay. Are you from Colorado?
No, I live here, but.
Ah, okay.
She's glad we went to Colorado.
Anyway, so instead of meeting that one person, she maximized her time and met with 4 women on the first meet. That went well?
Yes.
I'm assuming?
Jill.
Yes, your turn.
One of the reasons why I loved this training so much is because if we're trying to max out, we're going to be enrolling a lot of people, and that's what happened to me is I was enrolling a lot of people, and I was using the tools because Isagenix has perfect tools ready for us, but I didn't have a system set in place. So all day long, I'm on the phone, answering questions, putting out fires, like all day long, and it's overwhelming. And what I've realized is there are 8 steps. If I follow this simple system, I can set every single associate up for success, and then I can let them fly and not have to put out fires all day long.
So what is the first thing you do when somebody, let's just talk about this for a minute, because she's become very, very good at this, flipping people who are happy product users into, hey, how can I get this for free, to, hey, how can I make $1,000 extra a week? So the first thing they do when they get their box, what are you doing now with them?
You're gonna talk about this too. We're keeping it simple, but I'm saying, listen, you have 3 options, and they're all wonderful, beautiful options. You can, 1, get really, really healthy and be super happy. You can, 2, get healthy and help your sisters or mom or somebody you love get really healthy, and that's going to pay for your products. Or you can, 3, be a part of my movement and spread the word to everybody and really make a change while getting healthy and making a ton of money. So, I mean, the 3rd option sounds pretty obvious
Okay,
to me.
so Lisa, can you talk about what you're doing now when people get their box?
Well, this is something that I learned and I didn't know before, and I believe I heard Tanya talk about it one time before on some call. We do not have them open their box until you get them on the phone, and you make specific instructions. Do not open this box until, let's set a time, and I'm going to call you, and you go through each thing in the box, each product in the box, and you have them marked with a marker on the container the exact instructions. That gives them ownership of the product, and it will make them more likely to stay on the product. And I just love that. Is that
Well, and I
correct?
actually tweaked that even more because I'm running so fast and so hard, my time is so limited. So I actually made a document of how to unpack your President's Pack, and I asked them to open it up. I have pictures of the products and what they need to write on them. And then I tell them, after you've taken ownership and opened this amazing box that's going to change your life, give me a call and let's walk through what your schedule will look like. And it has saved so much time.
So what they've done is they've taken the initial they front-ended, literally front-loaded the end of welcoming people into Isagenix. Because what she's done is she said, hey, when you get that box, don't open it. So she's built up kind of the suspense. Don't open it, don't open it. Call me, we're going to go through it together. She's put in the time right up front, because once they open it, it's like this gift, and they're writing on it, so they're most likely not going to return it because they wrote on it, and I love that. If you write on something, you're not going to return it, which, you know, it's really cut down on our, all of everybody returning stuff, even though they would take it back. But more importantly, she's either going to spend that time at the very beginning or somewhere along the journey. Why not have it at the very first phone call, put the time in, and now you've set the stage for a really happy product user. And most likely, they're going to want to know how to get this stuff for free, because we're going to tell them about it on that call. Just so you know, I'm going to let you know, because, and who just said it? We are, thank you, Heather, for this. Nobody has ever done it, and I don't think anybody ever will, but we are obligated by law, this is interesting, to tell each and every person when we enroll them in Isagenix that we have an opportunity to get the $150 rebate. You are obligated. I am now feeling very obligated to tell everyone, just so you know, we have a program out there where you will be getting $150 back. If you're interested in that, I'd love to share that with you. And I tell every single person, I already plant that seed that there's an opportunity to get this stuff for free. I did not know that we could be sued for not telling people that. I know none of us are telling people that.
So I love that. I love that that gave the ease off of me. It was kind of, you know, and we're obligated. There's a couple people that I let go, and all of a sudden they loved it, and I'm like, oh, their 30 days is up. They don't have that opportunity to make a bonus, and so then I felt bad. So now it's like immediately. let them know.
And before they even get their box, because the worst moment of buyer's remorse is right when you push click, place order. That's buyer's remorse. And so at that moment, you have to send them to isaproduct.com. That's part of the steps. And let them watch the system. Let them get excited about it and have them enroll immediately in the Ice Body Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately. Because they're now excited. They're in it and they're excited to get their box.
So you guys know all the different ways that we earn volume in isogenics? Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Number one, enrolling people on auto ship. Enrolling people on auto ship. Number two, we're going to go to the next step and set. Number two, new people. Never, never, never tell people you have an inside leg and a strong leg, or a strong team leg or a weak leg. It is two sexy legs, team A, team B. For all of you should know that we build two legs in isogenics, and we don't talk ever about, I'm going to put you on my weak leg. This over and over and over and over and over. We don't build weak legs in isogenics. It's two team legs, right? Who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear they got put on an inside leg? I got put on an inside leg. But you know what? I took ownership immediately from day one. I never harbored anything about that, and I just looked down and just went crazy. So it turned out beautiful. The third way is we build by, again, building that customer relationship, opening that box, having a marking on it. Do it,